So this is a brief rundown of what happens during parts 1 through 5 in case you haven't seen them or just need a refresher. The visuals on this won't be too complex, mainly just images I used for the previous parts. This also won't be as detailed as the other parts, so there will be a lot of jokes you'll miss out on and just some map details in general. If you want to watch the full series, just click on the eye icon in the upper right corner or check out the links to them in the description. The year is 2029 and World War III has just started. 11 countries took part in it. However, these countries won't matter much until later. Ohio, aware that the US was distracted with World War III, had begun slowly taking over states by getting states to vote in governors that were planted by Ohio. After getting a few states, Ohio headed for Texas. Texas at this point was no longer a state but its own country after the president accidentally signed the wrong paperwork. Ohio tried to take it over, however before Ohio could reach it, Texas, prepared for such an event, used giant thrusters and launched itself into orbit around the Earth using a giant space dome to keep in oxygen. The thrusters caused earthquakes around the world, which caused California and Florida to split off from the United States. California only went a few miles out. However, Florida didn't really stop and is currently somewhere in the Atlantic Ocean yet to be found. Long story short, the United States kind of collapses, Ohio fights with Russia a bit, and then takes over the rest of the United States, except for Florida since it's, gone. Ohio decides to take over Poland for no particular reason and takes it over within 15 minutes. It then heads back to North America and starts fighting with Canada and Mexico, eventually beating Canada when they poisoned the national syrup supply, which was like Fort Knox, but for syrup, and then taking over Mexico once Canada was out of the game. Ohio then went to go take over Greenland so that it could have all of North America, but accidentally took over Iceland instead. A coalition of 9 countries forms called Mr. Worldwide, or for short, the MWW, with the goal of defeating Ohio due to its growing threat. Also, Germany only joins the MWW because it took Poland from Ohio and didn't want to face any consequences for taking over Poland again. Ohio tries to take over Greenland one more time, but Iceland and Greenland swap names, so Ohio just ends up in Iceland again. A few years go by, and Ohio and the MWW prepare to attack each other. However, on the day of the attack, Taiwan took over China and renamed it West Taiwan, and Atlantis resurfaces and Sealand becomes distracted fighting in what is now called the Sea Time War. The MWW pulls out of its attack plans with the loss of these countries. However, it's too late for Great Britain's navy, whose plan relied on being able to refuel at the east coast of North America after the attack. So they get stranded, and a battle happens between Great Britain's and Ohio's navy. Ohio's navy wins when they start pouring tea into the ocean, forcing Britain's navy to surrender. They then force Britain to leave the MWW by threatening to pour industrial amounts of tea into the ocean. 2 years go by in a Cold War-like state in which all the countries are nervous and scared that the other will make a move. Ohio learns that Britain has created a device that will combat Ohio pouring tea into the ocean, so Ohio prepares to attack. They enter through Portugal and Belgium, work their way up through the countries and meet at the borders of France, where they attack France together. France ruins the plan by surrendering. Ohio troops enter France, but get trapped when they discover that France has tricked them, and the MWW and France corner the army and begin attacking. The Navy has to pull off the coast because there are major storms being caused by the Sea Time War. Ohio airdrops a bunch of soldiers and manages to create an escape route, and they corner the MWW army. Ohio orders the troops to retreat, however due to the success of the first plan, they ignore Ohio and continue fighting the MWW thinking they can win this battle. Once again, that was a very brief rundown of parts 1 through 5. If you thought any of that was interesting, feel free to check out part 6 and continue onwards. Or if I haven't posted that yet, you can go back and watch 1 through 5 to get some more of the details and jokes I added in. So if you enjoyed, make sure to like and subscribe, and enjoy your day.